Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis is ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live, somebody. Let's go.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys all doing well out there. Hope this show finds you in great spirits. We got some things to talk about. We got some things to talk about. So get on in here. All right. I appreciate you guys coming in. Another day above this dirt is a what? A blessing. Yes. Okay. So I'm hoping you guys are all enjoying your Saturday. If you're just getting up, getting the sleep out your eye, hopefully it is you're waking up on the better side of the bed today. Okay, because it's Saturday. And I'm still here giving you guys the news and some conversations that you need for the day, which I think is very, very interesting nonetheless. The conversation that we're about to have. Not that I'm here live on a Saturday. I'm always live, dagnabbit. I'm always doing something. I'm always working, okay? So if you appreciate me giving you guys the conversations that, maybe you have at dinner tonight or, during lunch or your breakfast conversation with your loved ones, please do me a favor. Hit that like button down below. Hit that reaction button. If you're watching on other platforms, that'd be greatly appreciated. If you're on this TT, what up? Hit that like button, hit that reaction button. I got some roses in there, so if you can hit some roses, that'd be greatly appreciated. Trying to make a goal in this short show. So check it out, okay? No pressure. Trust me, no pressure. But hit that like button down below, all right? Hit that reaction button if you're watching on other platforms. If you are watching on those other platforms, hit that follow button. I'm on Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, and the TikTok. So hit that follow button, okay? We're keeping close watch on this whole situation that happened in Apalachee High, or at the Apalachee High School in Winder, okay, Georgia. And hold on, my child is a lot stronger than I thought. She is a strong one. Have mercy. Anyway. My child was about to interrupt this show. Oh, my Lord. Anyway. Okay, she's a showstopper. All right. But anyway, hit that subscribe button if you're watching on my main channel. Please go over to my secondary channel, The Pascal Show Clips. Crush that over there as well, please. All right. Go over there. We are doing a lot of updates over there, The Pascal Show Clips. So go over there and show some love. That'd be greatly appreciated. All right. Hit that join button down below, just like somebody just became a member. Appreciate it. I'll give you a shout out in just a minute, but hit that join button down below. Become a member of the family. That'd be amazing. Check out my Patreon, patreon.com/The Pascal Show, and go check out pascalmerch.com. We got some new designs that just came out, and we got another announcement on that too, and I will talk about that in a very short while. Okay, guys, we got to get into this, all right? All righty. Okay, guys. All right. We got to get into this. As you guys already know, because it's Saturday and I got things to do. I know you guys got things to do. But I have a question, okay? Clearly, the question I have here is, are we going to see Marcy Gray, okay? Let me show you Marcy Gray's mug shot to show her mug. All right. But are we going to see Marcy Gray, Colt Gray's mother, biological mother? Okay. Are we going to see her catching charges? Now, we already know. All right. We already know that Colt Gray's father, Colin Gray, he's right here. This is his most recent mug shot. Where is it? Right here. Okay. We already know that he's already caught some serious charges, okay? And right now he is looking at upwards of 180 years in prison if he's found guilty, and of course if they sentence him to the fullest extent of these charges, right? Pretty bad stuff that he's got coming around the bend for him. And pretty bad stuff, let's not forget, okay? let's not forget, we also do have Colt Gray in some serious trouble as well, okay? Because he did some very bad things. And now he's looking at this 14-year-old kid that walked into Apalachee High School and lit up the place, causing many tragedies, all right? He is looking at life without and with the possibility of parole. Those are his two options right now, okay? Now, I know a lot of people are speculating that he will probably take a plea deal and then that the dad might just go and try to fight it out, okay, in court. That's what I think. That's kind of what I'm thinking, all right? Honestly, I think that the dad is about to catch even more charges, to be completely honest, all right? But it takes two. It takes two, baby. It takes two to make a dream come true, right? Isn't that the phrase of the song or something like that? But anyway, it takes two. Here's the mama, Marcy Gray, not Macy Gray, okay? Marcy Gray. And she could very well, maybe, catch some serious charges, y'all. Let's be real. If she is to catch these charges, well, first off, could she catch charges? Will she get charges? And is it fair for her to get charges? These are the questions I'm posing to all y'all in the chats, okay? Marcy Gray has not caught not a damn thing. All she's been getting has been media and social media ridicule out here. People digging up her background as far as her arrest record, which is as long as my body, okay? We see all the information about the tumultuous relationship that she had or has with Colin Gray, the father, and how she's still a mom, by the way. She is still parenting a child, if I'm correct, while two of the other children are with, that's including Colt. Colt and another sister are staying with Colin, okay? Which is very interesting, right? We know that she has a history of serious problems, with addiction and all that stuff, right? But at the same time, even if they are co-parenting, they are still parents. They both willingly brought this young boy into the world and raised him how they raised him. He, of course, was given an AR-style weapon for Christmas last year. And that is the same weapon that he used to walk into Apalachee High School and do what he did. Mind you, I want to remind you, T.T. Brown, auntie to Colt, has come out here, allegedly saying some certain things, saying like, hey, this kid has been saying that he's been having issues for the longest time, that he has been begging for help. Now, of course, when I hear that, instantly I go, not only did he say that to his parents and the people that were around him, but that was also said to her too, if I'm correct. How would she know if she didn't hear it, if he didn't hear his pleas for help? So now we're hearing this too, that if he's saying that stuff out loud, mama heard that stuff too, I'm assuming. Also, let's not forget, he was given an AR. Did she attest to that? Did she condone it? Did she condemn it? Did she just say, oh, all right, I'm just so proud? You see what I'm saying? In fact, it's kind of interesting because let me pull this up. Let me pull this up because if I'm correct in this video here, okay, I'm not gonna play the audio to the video because I've already played this video where he went hunting, okay? But I think this is her underneath. Hold on, this is just off the top of the dome right now. 20. But I want to make sure I'm not losing my mind, okay? But underneath here, It's kind of hard to see right here because I'd have to just play the video. Hold on. Let me just mute this really quick. But take a look at this. All the way in the bottom. Shoot, it's hard to do this with this, though. All the way at the bottom, it says, and it's Marcy Gray that's posting this, and it says proud mama right here at the very bottom of the video. I'm not kidding. I'm going to roll that back because, not everybody wants to see the buck that he aimed at. Okay. But it says, and I know that's not the full sentence, or like there's a second sentence that she puts out here, but she posted this video, y'all. All are in agreement. Proud mama right here. All are in agreement. Interesting, right? That's what that post is saying. And it's showing her son holding a very powerful weapon, just getting done with his first successful hunt. So she posted this too, y'all. Underneath, again, it says proud mama right here. So she, of course, condoned him running around here in these wilderness streets with this weapon. And I'm sure she made it an okay. I'm sure she was like, my name's Marcy Gray and I approve this message. With him getting that Christmas gift last year. Same weapon, by the way. Same weapon that was used just a few days ago. Interesting, right? That's crazy. I totally forgot about that until I started talking. And ain't that crazy? She posted that. Proud mama right here. She posted that, y'all. So she clearly knows that she's out here, right? That he's out here before this whole tragedy ensued, learning how to use this weapon. She condoned it. Okay? She did not condemn it. She did not sit there and go, no, boo, 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 tomatoes, tomatoes, tomatoes. She was cool with it. She was fine with it. And then this kid did what he did. Now, there's a couple things I want to share with you guys, okay? And then there's, of course, a video from Brian Enton that's asking all the questions of like, hey, should he have been catching charges or not, right? And I think that's something that I think we all want to know as well. But first, okay, let me grab this here. Now, this is interesting, all right, because I know that a lot of people are saying a lot of different things, maybe because of the area in which in which the kid was growing up in and all that stuff. I don't know. But the way it sounds like to me is like they are living in some Maury Povich, Jerry Springer type of situation, okay? Again, a very toxic relationship, and, they're teaching their kids how to adult out here by how they treat each other in front of the kids. And also how they're treating the kids by locking them outside, leaving them outside, them pounding on doors, crying, trying to get back inside the house, so on and so forth. The certain pieces of treatment that they receive does some serious damage on their developing minds and their developing psyche. Let's be completely real. But then, of course, the family says, his family, okay, they're saying the suspect family, okay, is not white trash, okay? They're just regular people. Say what? I'm sorry. They're just regular people, apparently, the relative said. So regular people do exactly what I just said just a second ago. Lock their kids outside, steal people's license plates to put on theirs and get arrested for doing that kind of thing. Run around with enough paraphernalia and substances to be a walking pharmacy, for crying out loud. Not a lot of people do that. That's not a regular thing, okay? That ain't regular. All right. So let's look at this, okay? All right. And this happened on American soil. All right. Crazy. So let me blow this up for you guys. Says the family of Georgia of Colt Gray. Okay. They're saying it's not white trash and are just regular people. A relative of the teen's mother said Friday amid reports that the boy was raised in a broken home. He was raised in definitely a broken home. You know what I want to say this too? Okay. There's a way to have a healthy relationship with your ex where the home does not have to be broken. You can have a healthy co-parenting experience with your ex. I truly believe that's possible so that the kid doesn't feel the feeling of it being a quote unquote shattered, let's just say a shattered home. Okay. Because I get it. Mom and dad aren't together anymore. They may be with new people, right? And living happy relationships, but their co-parenting is solid, right? It's amazing. It's cohesive. It's functional, not dysfunctional, right? There's a way to do that. We live in a new world now, right? The times are different now. There's a way that people can raise their children separately, but together. Let's continue on. All right. Let me get this here. Okay, let's continue on. The perception that Gray comes from a low-income, uneducated family is simply not true, a maternal relative told this article here, The Post. In fact, most of the relatives of the teen's troubled mother are middle class with college degrees and good paying jobs, the family member said. Okay, so just because you got a family that are college educated and have money in their pocket does not automatically mean that Marcy and Colin have money in their pockets. Let's keep it real, okay? Middle class with college degrees does not mean that they still can't be dumbasses on the street. Okay, you can be book smart all day long, but street smarts, common sense could be way out the window. Okay, and it doesn't matter what class you in. You could be lower class and be Einstein genius level, right? And know the difference between right and wrong. You can be upper class, the highest of upper class, and be the biggest idiot in the world with no sense of common sense, right? So you could sit here all day. Oh, he grew up with caviar in his mouth every day. Yes. Silver spoon. Yes. Gold-plated plates. It was absolutely fabulous. It doesn't matter. If you dumb, you dumb. Okay? If you dumb, you dumb. Okay? And let's not forget. Party favors, substances of that kind of thing attack everybody. It doesn't matter. Oh, you lower class. I'm coming in and I'm getting you. I'm getting you. Addiction coming to get you, right? You got money? You a billionaire? Okay. Sorry, bro. Sorry. My name. Nice to meet you. My name's Meth. But it was nice. It was a pleasure to meet you, man. It's a real privilege. I appreciate you. Making that money. Continue to make that money. I gotta go mess with somebody with that doesn't make as much money. Okay, but good to know. Damn, you got that many zeros in your bank account? Damn, what is that? Crypto? Like, let me know, man. Like, how's your boy? Give me your tips. It's not like that. Drugs, addiction does not care who you are, what you came from, and what your background is. They do not care. So they continue on saying, we are not white trash. That's what everyone is saying about us, but we're not. We are just regular people, the relative who wished to remain anonymous told the Post. Now, we already know about Colt Gray and what he's done, all right? But at the same time, just because you've read, I don't know, every Hemingway book you can get your hands on, just because you know détente, okay, or have read Ulysses and could understand everything that was going on in that book, does not mean that you are impervious to addiction, to stupidity, and tragedies like this. Period. Okay? Or Descartes. Whatever. You see? It doesn't matter. But you know what I mean, okay? You know exactly what I mean, all right? It doesn't matter. So to me, I'm like, you can mess with me with that nonsense type of thing. Hold on one second, guys. Hold on. Okay. Wow. Okay. That's interesting. Well. Moving on, though. Okay. So. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Okay. Now, here's another thing. All right. I wanted to pull this up. Make sure you guys have this as well. And then we're going to go into this video from Brian Enton on News Nation, because I think he's asking and posing some really good questions. But disturbing Facebook posts, okay, of Georgia school monster Colt Gray's mom, Marcy, threatened to unalive. Okay? So the mother of Colton Gray had threatened to unalive her estranged husband less than a year before their son did what they did at this school in Georgia. Now, Marcy Gray, 43, has a criminal record spanning more than 17 years and was in jail as recently as April. So the former quality engineer was arrested in November, okay, in Barrow County, suspected of possessing the various things which we already know about, okay? So she also faces charges of aggravated B, theft by taking, criminal trespass, false imprisonment. False imprisonment? What? I'm sorry. That deserves that sound. What? False imprisonment? She also faces charges of false imprisonment. Say what? And failure to appear in January in nearby Fitzgerald County. Now, she also, so the mother of three threatened to unalive her husband during one of these incidents. She also tied up her elderly mother and left her for 24 hours. What? What is going on, my golly? Oh my God. You what? This is not okay. Hold on. Remember what we just saw a second ago, right? Didn't they just say, well, yeah, our family ain't trash. We all come from education. We read books, dag nabbit. But what is this? That looks good. Your boy's getting hungry. But look at this, okay? Threatened to unalive her husband, okay? She's been charged for false imprisonment, tied up somebody, happens to be her own mama, and then left her for 24 hours. Hamburger. You have got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. How is this possible? But we're going to move on, though. But no, they ain't trash. They're educated people. They read books, dag nabbit. right? Isn't that what they just said? They read books. So there's no way you could, come on now. You could be super educational, super educated to dated, and be the biggest idiot. Okay? You could be real city, but in real life, you country as F. That could be it too. Okay? Let's keep it a bean. Moving on, though. Here she is with makeup on. Moving on, though. It's unclear exactly what sparked the spiral, but Marcy Gray had previously posted online about what addiction can do to a family. So she had made several concerning posts, Facebook posts throughout the years, sharing her struggles with estranged husband, Colin, who she accused he attacked her. I'm not surprised. In November 2022, Marcy Gray wrote, From my husband's first memory, all he knew was I got to use these code words, unfortunately, guys. Severe physical A. I'm talking everything from getting a broken arm at the age of 8 while he was totally asleep to having a bar stool crack his dome open. I still rub my fingers across the scar on his scalp and think to myself, how? I can't even comprehend it. That is what addiction can do to a mama, a daddy, a spouse, a sibling, you name it, and it will reach them. The same day, she wrote a different post. I know it's hard. She says, I know it's hard to understand from the outside looking in. Everyone in my and his family couldn't understand why I stayed as long as I did. Ultimately, it was my own decision. This is what she said in a post. Let me see where it is. Ultimately, it was my own decision. She continues on. I made a commitment to the Lord and my husband. No one but me understands the pain that my husband lives with every single day. What is that pain? I mean, is it just from child A, from growing up with, in a volatile household? But he also, if this is true, he also, and if these allegations that she says out here are true as well, he's also not stopping the cycle. He's just continuing the cycle. I know everybody, I feel some type of way about this movie, but like it ends with us, right? It's an opportunity to stop the cycle, right? Stop the cycle of A getting attacked, so on and so forth, right? So it's very interesting to hear about this. And if he was a child and a survivor of it, he took this and allegedly brought it on to the relationship that he had with Marcy. But Marcy didn't make the situation any better either. I think she was also just as toxic as him, just as him. And of course, two very toxic people in one room turns into a perfect storm of terrible stuff. Okay? And tragedy. And then, of course, these kids are now learning about those things as well. They're seeing the A, they're seeing the attacks, they're seeing all that stuff, right? And then next thing you know, boom, we have this situation that we're seeing right now. But let me continue on, okay? Let's continue on. All right. So no one but me understands the pain that my husband lives with every single day. Every single person in his life has hurt or betrayed him. And I truly believe that the Lord sent me to him because no one else was strong enough to stay by his side through thick and thin. I'm not about to give up on him now. We are just taking a break. Interesting. This was in November of 2022, by the way, guys. That said, I'm signing off Facebook. It didn't take long to remember why I banished social media from my life in the first place. If you truly want to help, prayers are appreciated. So she clearly says, hey, I am in this relationship. It's not so great. It is bad, so on and so forth. But I am staying with him. I'm going to take a break from social media because y'all know that I'm in this this absolutely volatile relationship, and I don't want to hear it. I'm going to work on my relationship with my man. See you later, chucking up the deuces. And then she left, allegedly, right? Then she says later on, okay, the next month, she wrote on LinkedIn, so I guess the break was fairly short. She said, finally separated from my husband, okay, code words, of almost 14 years. Hardest ish I've ever done, but we're in good hands. Then in May of 2023, she said in a post, I packed myself and my babies up and relocated from to my hometown in South Georgia. We are all good and my kids are thriving. All right. Same month, police contacted Colt Gray after receiving an FBI tip. All right. That same month when they were getting interrogated. Crazy stuff, right? Now, again, Marcy Gray pleaded guilty in December of 2023, around the same time that Colt got that AR. Ain't that something? Okay. To one count of using a license plate to conceal identity, criminal damage to property in the second degree, and criminal trespass / family V. She was prosecuted under Georgia's First Offender Act, which allows eligible defendants to plead guilty without being convicted. Court record indicated that she was not actually charged with possession of substances in relation to her arrest. Interesting stuff, right? Okay. So we know now that this woman is she got some issues for sure. That she definitely should be working out on her own and not bringing her children into it. Okay. And obviously things went off the rails apparently with their relationship, with Colt and Marcy's relationship. Things went downhill very, very fast, right? Of course, she was a victim, and maybe she was a contributor. I don't know. But she finally found a way to get herself free from this man. But then she kept coming back. That's the story we've been hearing. Remember, the landlord of their previous home was basically saying, hey, if she comes back to this house, y'all are all getting evicted. We're done. And then what happened? She came back. So they all got evicted from the home. So she finally was able to move away and she did her thing. But Colt stayed with Colin, and one of the other kids stayed with Colin. But then he was still getting bullied. He was still getting messed with in school and all that stuff. And now we're here where we're at, right? So the question remains. You see the video of her going, oh, proud mama and all that stuff, right? Proud mom right here, right? She knows that this kid is operating and using a deadly weapon. The question is still going to remain, in my personal opinion, okay, or not in my personal opinion. The question still remains, and I'm putting this out here as well. Should the mom get charges or not? So I'm going to take this over to News Nation because I want you guys to see this video real quick. Shout out to Brian Enton and News Nation for bringing up this question because it's a damn good question. Should she be getting a charge? Should she be catching a charge? Is it right? Or is it a little extreme? She's not living in the same household as Colin, but still, I will say this. She still is the mother. She is also co-parenting this young boy. She has a right to say something, but it seems like she was encouraging him to learn and have that weapon and all that, which obviously got us to where we are today. Let's take a look at Brian Enton's video right quick. Oops. Muted, guys. Hold on.
Killing 2 of his fellow students and 2 teachers made his first court appearance. And here is some of what the judge said to him in court today.
All right, good morning, sir. Are you Mr. Colt Gray? Yes, sir. You are charged with 4 counts of felony murder as outlined in the state warrants that have been issued against you. You are under 18 years old, So I wanted to inform you and make it clear to you that the penalty for the crimes for which you are charged does not include death. It includes life without the possibility of parole or life with the possibility of parole.
Initially, they said he could face the death penalty, but because he's just 14 years old, they clarified today death is not on the table. His father, Colt Gray, also appeared in court just about an hour later. He's been charged with 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter, 4 counts of second-degree murder, and 8 counts of cruelty to children. Now, these charges came just shortly after we learned Gray's father had given his son the gun used in the shootings. He gave him the gun as a holiday present, we learned today. He faces up to 180 years in prison if he's actually convicted on all of the charges. Prosecutors say this is the first time in Georgia history that a parent of a school shooting suspect has been charged in connection with this type of attack. Also, there is new audio out tonight. It's also been released of an interview Georgia police conducted with the father and son. It was back in May of 2023. It was shortly after the FBI received tips about online threats of violence made to a school. They traced the threats back to that 14-year-old, Colt Gray. And here is the officer asking the father if there are any guns in the home.
Do you have weapons in the house?
I do.
Are they accessible to him?
They are. I mean, there's nothing loaded, but they are down.
Okay.
We do a lot of shooting. We do a lot of deer hunting. He shot his first deer this year.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, so like I'm pretty much in shock, to be honest with you.
Well,
I'm a little pissed off, to be even really honest with you. If that is what was said.
So you heard it. He just said that his son had recently killed his first deer. Well, today, video emerged of that exact moment. Here's some of it.
Okay. January 8th, 2023, the first ever deer hunt for me and Colt. He's hunting with a 450 Bushmaster.
yes, sir.
107 yards. And let's go take a look. I'll follow you, sir. Amazing. Look at that. Look at that, son. What a hell of a shot.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. How'd that 450 do? Did it kick hard? You couldn't even feel it, could you?
Nope.
What a shot. Hey, I love you, son.
Gosh, it's so eerie to see that and see the son holding the gun. The whole thing is just awful. How will the video, though, play in this case? And was the interview with police the reason that they arrested the father so quickly? Remember, they arrested him just the very next day. I want to bring in defense attorney Mark Garagos, former New York City prosecutor Paul Callan, and police and forensic psychologist Chris Mohandy. We appreciate you all being with us. Mark, I want to start with you.
Now, before we get into this, I do want to share with you guys. Obviously, we see we saw the video, the hunting video before, right? He's sitting there going, hey, you try that 45. Ain't that 45 crazy? Ain't that such a wonderful thing? You know what I mean? He's very encouraging about the actual weapon being used and whatnot, which is absolutely crazy to me. Okay. It's absolutely wild. But at the same time, Mama reposted that video, and that is out for everyone to see. Now, her reposting the video and her saying proud mama, I know some people might look at that and go, well, now the people out here are just trying to move the goalposts so that the mom is held accountable for. I get that part. I see what you're saying. For those who are on the opposing side, like, she had nothing to do with this. She wasn't the one who gifted him the weapon, but I would assume, okay, that Colin had a conversation with Marcy saying he's going to give him this weapon. And I'm sure she said, all right. Or if he said, I gave him a weapon for a gift after the fact, I would hope that she either was like, oh, okay, cool. Or she was like, oh, hell no. What the hell are you doing? Why are you giving him that weapon? That's no. You should not give him that weapon at all. Why are you doing that? Right? But this is interesting though, right? Because she has not caught not one damn thing. Okay. Dad right now is getting all of it, which he should. Okay, because this kid was under his supervision, but still the question still remains. It takes two of them. If they're both present parental units in child rearing this kid, they're both responsible, in my personal opinion. Maybe not as much as her, right? Maybe she's not catching as many charges as him, okay? But I think maybe she should be catching some charges. Now, here's the thing. I do have a post up at the top, pinned to the top of the chat over here in the family chat over there on YouTube. Please, by all means, go to the chat, go to the poll, get your ass to the poll, and let me know what your thoughts are here. Okay, but let's continue on. Okay, let's hear what these professionals want to say. What did they have to say about this? Okay, should she be catching a charge or not?
I mean, big picture for our country, this is a big deal. This is only the second time in U.S. history that a parent has been charged involved with the school shooting. I mean, do you think prosecutors have a case here?
Well, it's an interesting theory. Number one, you just showed the video that there's a large swath of the country doesn't find any problem with that whatsoever. So I don't know how the video actually would play into this. What would play into this is the audio of, completely separate from the hunting, the police response. And I'll tell you why. I have had cases where they have alleged murder, implied malice murder, which is what we have here. Second degree means you can toggle, you give the jury the option. Do you say that it was so depraved and so wildly negligent that it is second degree or a manslaughter? And was this person on notice? That audio becomes critical to that. No different than a parent who was notified about a kid and then giving the kid a car. Here you're giving the kid an instrumentality. The gun that was used, I believe in that video, is not the same gun that we're talking about that happened in this case. They're going to make the point, if I understand the prosecutor's theory, that after he was warned by the police, after he had knowledge that there was some rumor or indication that this was going to happen, he then gave a gift of an AR-15 or some kind of a weapon that was used here. That is their theory. It's analogous to a negligent entrustment, mind you, in a civil case. And one last point. Most jurisdictions, I haven't researched Georgia, but if you're sitting here in California, if you have a juvenile, your kid, and he goes out and commits an act, you're usually capped at a $10,000, $25,000 limit on what you as the parent can be held liable for. Here you've got a bridge even farther, which is a criminal act, which is a much higher burden of proof.
Now, what's interesting is, obviously, this is not a theory anymore, okay? The dad most definitely bought this weapon months after FBI was knocking on their home, knocking on their door, okay? And interrogating him and his son about posts his son was posting on Discord. Now, Rosalind on TikTok just said this, which is true, okay? A lot of people co-parent, but one cannot dictate what each one does in their home. And that's absolutely correct. That's very correct. Okay, that's a horn for me right there. That's true. Okay, what they do behind closed doors, I mean, you only have so much control over how your ex or the co-parent is actually co-parenting when you are not around, right? There's only so much you can do. But at the same time, to me, I feel that she saw this. She knew this. She knew, okay, let's be real. You're telling me that she didn't know about the FBI interrogating their son, him being brought in and asked about his post on social media and him talking about certain things and him being harassed and ridiculed at school, being called gay, and all that stuff. You're telling me he was that none of that stuff wasn't going to go back over to mama? That's some serious stuff. Okay? And when your 14-year-old son gets the attraction from the FBI, What do you think they're gonna do? You know damn well the mom's gonna know about that. And then months later, he gets a gift that he uses just a few days ago. That it's like I said, Mama knew, guys. Mama knew, and she had a place, an opportunity to make her voice heard and say, hey, no, take that weapon back from him. Hell no. Do not give him that. He just got interrogated by FBI. We don't know for sure if he was the one posting those things online on Discord saying that he gonna light up a school. We don't know. But at the same time, some people just don't think. Again, like I told you guys my theory last night, or the last few shows of this whole, well, he needs to learn to be a man. And the only way he can be a man, in my eyes, is if he learns how to shoot, he learns how to hunt, he learns how to do all these things and how to operate this heavy artillery. That's how he's going to be a man. And that's how he's going to get over the ridicule and the kids making fun of him and stuff. I'm going to turn my son into a real man. Like I said, maybe she was like, okay, baby, do what you need to do. Raise your son. And that's it. So again, she's just as responsible, maybe not as responsible, because she's not the one who walked into the store, at least that we know of, and bought this AR. The father said he did it himself. She just complied. Let's continue on.
Yeah, let's not forget about the Crumbleys, though. Ethan Crumbly's parents in Michigan.
The Crumbleys.
I covered that story extensively. I always called them like the worst parents in America. They were both convicted. But Chris, Mark makes a good point. I mean, you look at the video of the 14-year-old with his dad out hunting with the gun. I mean, there's really nothing strange about that video, especially in rural Georgia. I mean, teenagers have guns, they go out hunting. But what I can't stop thinking about is that, as a parent, the dad, the police show up at the house in 2023, say that this threat has been made, ask questions about the guns. I mean, doesn't the dad, Chris, have an obligation to keep the guns locked up after the cops showed up at his house?
I've been studying school violence. I wrote a book about it, came out in 2000, and written about it since, worked on some cases, certainly. And it's absolutely the parent's responsibility to control those guns and make sure if you have a high-risk individual in the household, number one, that you would obviously keep them locked up. And number two, irrespective of that there would not be accessibility. Like Mark, I'm not concerned about the shooting of deer in terms of legitimate hunting activity that many people do with their families and so forth. And people have all kinds of opinions about that. But the audio that there has been an open investigation about, one's son making threats of a mass casualty nature, and then within short order providing that gun as a holiday gift that ultimately is used, it's a negligent. It will definitely be the more concerning thing when that dad basically admits that his son has access to those firearms, that they are not locked up, and he kind of babbles about whether there's any ammunition available. That's another issue they'll chase down investigatively. But he was put on notice that his son was potentially high risk, and the thought process and the dereliction of duty as a parent and the negligence, he definitely bears responsibility to be investigated and adjudicated, objectively by a jury of his peers. And I don't think it's going to turn out well for him. I obviously, the son had a lot of issues. There were issues in the household from what I've learned. Right. If the reports are true about significant instability and dysfunction, and just an overall set of issues that, number one, parenting failures. I believe there's investigative failures as well, not taking actions based upon what they learned about the accessibility of those firearms in the household, as well as the fact that
what's interesting?
Yeah, go ahead, Mark.
Go ahead. I was just going to say, to that point, it really is heartbreaking, I suppose, When I was reading about the dysfunction in the household, you've got, if you believe the reporting, the dysfunction with the mother. If half of that is true, they've got a hard time of fixing any liability to her. But boy, from a moral standpoint or from a causation standpoint, in terms of just the kind of the broken, dysfunctional, I mean, it's heartbreaking to read about the kinds of things that the father was trying to do. It really is ironic that he's the one who's going to be held accountable.
And you saw.
Yeah. Okay. So real quick, before they erupt into the conversation and all that stuff, let me just say this really quick. All right. Yes, there's negligence on the father for sure, but there's negligence on her too. Just because she's not in that home, she knows exactly what was going on. Okay, that's what I believe. I truly believe that she knew what was popping out here in the Gray's home. Okay, and it for me, it just doesn't make any sense that she would just turn a blind eye in a way and let this be what it is. Right? The negligence is not only just on Colin; it's also on Marcy. That's what I truly believe. I truly believe that she's just as responsible on the levels of that. As far as the purchasing of the gun, that's another thing, right? The purchasing of it, the giving it to him, that is the dad. The dad bought it. The dad handed it to him. He should be liable for that as well, right? Not her, but she also should be hit with negligence, etc., because she allowed these things to go on in this home and allowed this kid who clearly is having some mental health issues. She allowed him to use this negative type of reinforcement, like learning how to use this weapon, okay, instead of actually getting him the proper help that the kid really needed. That's the problem. You have FBI knocking on the door, asking questions, saying, hey, your kid allegedly posted some things online that flagged us. And now we're here to have that conversation. Mama knew about that interview. Mama knew about that interrogation in that investigation as well. Instead of her going, baby, sit down. You okay? We're going to have a professional sit down and talk with you. It'd be like, hey, miss me with the nonsense, son. You could tell me that you're fine. You can tell me that you had nothing to do with those posts. But no matter what, we're going to have you sit down with somebody just in case. But they didn't do that. They didn't do that. Okay? They chose to maybe believe him, or they chose to sweep it under the rug instead of dealing with the emotions and dealing with the problems that the kid was actually going through, and gave him a weapon because they thought that would empower him even more. In their mind, make him taking matters in his own hands in a positive way, which obviously had a negative reaction, obviously. So again, it just, like I said, it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Okay, ladies and germs, let me just say this really quick. If you have a loved one, if you have kids, etc., that are going through some mental health issues, if you are getting flagged by FBI, because I'm sure there's other people, man, there was 10 arrests over the last couple days of kids making threats online. Just in the last 24, 48 hours alone, y'all, because of what just happened. All right. Now, imagine if those kids are going, no, I didn't say that. No, that's somebody else used that, hacked into my account and put all that stuff out there. That wasn't me. I didn't do that. And the parents who are there seeing this, seeing that transpire, all these 10 kids were calling in boom, boom threats. Kids were calling in mass tragedy threats, all types of stuff. 10 of them. 10 over the last 48 hours. So, hey, you might be watching this show, parent of kid that just got arrested. And I'm telling you right now, do not give them a pew-pew and think that that's going to solve all your problems. Just don't do it. The hell is wrong with you? Don't do it. And also, the spouse, the partner that's off on the sidelines, whilst your spouse or partner is gifting a troubled kid a weapon like this, speak up. Stop it from happening. Tell them hell no. If you have to steal the doggone weapon and hide it or throw it into the middle of a lake, do it. Whatever you need to do to ensure the safety of not only the kids that he goes to school with, but yourself and your family as well. Because God only knows if he turned that weapon on his own daddy and on his own sister that was also living in that house. Let's not forget that, guys. Just because he walked into a school does not mean he didn't think about possibly doing some unthinkable things to his own family. Think about that. Come on, guys. Do whatever you need to do to make sure that that kid is safe and away from getting his clutches away from something so powerful, so violent, and so deadly. Let's move on. Crazy.
The picture of the mom, you saw the picture of the mom, and we're going to get to her in a second because that's a whole nother story that makes your blood boil. Right. But I want to get Paul in here just as a prosecutor. They charged the dad very quickly. I remember with the Crumbleys, it was quite a while before the charges came. They charged the dad a day after the shooting. What do you make of that, Paul?
I think it's surprising that they threw so many charges out there so soon before developing all of the evidence in the case. And there's a lot of evidence here of a broken home, certainly. They started out on a farm, and they had to give up the farm, and then they started moving from house to house, getting evicted. There's some indication in the file that on one of the evictions,
problems after problems after problems,
weapons from the house. There were several firearms in the house and a bow, and then he returned it to them after they settled in yet another home. So
but you see what I'm saying? Like even and we talked about law enforcement as well, because you got to remember, law enforcement was apparently having this kid on their radar. And I'm sure that Colt Gray is not the only Colt Gray out here that is on their radar. But it does make you wonder if he went into this, if the dad went into a weapons shop and actually bought this high-powered rifle, why did that not spark some flags from law enforcement as well? Like I said, it's very lackadaisical. It's very loose when it's like, and I get it, my gun, my rights, all that stuff. I get all that stuff. 2A all day, all that kind of stuff. I get it. But your son is on a kind of like a watch list because of the things that he's been saying online, which are very extreme, right? Very, very dangerous. My opinion is, as soon as you walk into a weapons store and you buy something, your name is on that, because clearly the kid's not buying it. He's 13 at the time. He's a minor, right? Shouldn't that have sparked some red flags and maybe go in there and say, sir, we got to take your weapons. I'm sorry, but whatever. I don't know, whatever it may be, right? I know that may not be legally correct, okay, or standard procedure, but there's got to be some way of protecting, right? Preventing something like this from happening. It's not only like the family. Yes, I blame the family big time. I definitely blame Colt for sure, because he's the one behind the weapon, pulling the doggone trigger in the first place. But also I look at law enforcement too, and the fact that they allegedly took his weapons away from him and then eventually gave them right back to him days later. That doesn't make sense. Okay? It just doesn't make any sense. That's the other thing, Alicia. I agree. Thank you so much. I agree. If it's not for a long time, maybe a short period of time, right? That they just retrieve the weapons and say, sorry, sir, we have to take these. He's still on our list. And until he's absolutely 110% cleared, we have to take these weapons from you. Because not only does it give that kid a big wake-up call, like, we are watching you, son, so don't even play. It could potentially stop any of these kinds of tragedies from ever happening. But of course, I know that could, is that legal? Can they legally do that? I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I just play one on TV. Let's continue on. Okay.
There've been a lot of problems with the family, But what they've done here is they've looked at that prior case. There's only been one prior case where parents have been charged like this for the murderous act of a child. And they're trying to make sure that they can prove this case, and they're throwing out a lot of very unusual theories. Now, you know, Mark was talking about the murder charge. There's a second-degree murder charge here, which has as its element that you committed an act of cruelty to a child, which then caused the death of someone. Wouldn't even have to be the child that you were cruel to. Now, the father has no contact with the children in the school. His only contact is with his own son. So obviously, they must be saying that they know of acts of cruelty that were inflicted on the kid that may have caused him to pick up one of these unsecured guns and commit this act. And
now, this is interesting. No, I don't agree with this guy right here. Okay. Well, part of it, I agree with what he's saying, that these 8 counts of cruelty towards a little does say something to me, right? Because I was like, what's up with these 8 counts of cruelty? Okay, to children. What's up with that? Does that have to do with the kids at the school, or does this have to do with actually Colt? Now we're hearing that it could actually be a connection to how he's been treating Colt, which is very interesting, right? But I don't think that this is a situation where Colt was like, dag nabbit, I'm so mad at my dad, I need to just go over to the school and light it up. No. He's been thinking about doing this for years, guys. He's been thinking about doing this for years. Yes, I think there's a piece of this for sure from how Colin is actually treating his son. Absolutely. And if what the mother said in these Facebook posts, he also is a victim of DV and CA as well. And he's not stopping the cycle. He's continuing it on by, attacking his own kids. Right. But I don't think that's the only factor that made Colt go grab the weapon that he was gifted, by the way, and walk into the school and do what he did. That's what I think. I think it's a combination of many different things, okay? This kid lived in a house of hell. That's what I think, okay? He has terrible parents, unfortunately. I hate to say it like that, but you don't just lock your kids out of the house because you feel some type of way, okay? They're your damn kids, all right? You get yourself clean. You work on the steps, whatever it may be. Work on staying away from the things, the vices that keep you addicted, and you work on being the best parent that you absolutely bloody can be. That's what you do. You don't use negative reinforcement in hopes that it's going to shake the kid out of the negative that they're in. It just becomes a double negative, which makes no sense, but you get what I'm saying though, right? It doesn't help. So I don't agree with this guy here on the last half. I don't think he said, "Oh yeah, I'm so fed up, I'm taking it out on the school." No, I think he was fed up with everything. Okay, and it was a combination of many different things, which is obviously tragic as hell. I got a little bit more for you guys, and then of course, unfortunately, I'm going to have to wrap it up. So do me a favor, guys, okay? Hit that like button down below. Crush that like button down below. Hit that reaction button. I think I have a new goal up there. I don't know. I'm trying some new stuff here on the TT. Show some love. That'd be greatly appreciated. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that follow button, okay? We got a lot of conversations to have. We're going to be talking a lot here in the very, very near future, okay? But hit that like button down below. I would love to see it get past 600 likes, okay? We're not that far away from it, okay? Let me get this really quick. Shelly, welcome to the family. Thank you, Shelly, for your support. Welcome. And just like Shelly, all right, hit that join button down below. Become a member of the family, all right? Chelsea by the Sea, thank you so much. The number of people in the chat normalizing children handling pew-pews is terrifying. Never under any circumstances. Well, I will say this. I agree 110%. I don't think that kids should be holding on to very powerful, any type of deadly weapons at all whatsoever, in my personal opinion. But I do think that it is important that if you do have those types of weapons in your home, first off, don't lay them around your house like they're just like magazines on a coffee table. Okay, it's that you could just check out and look through and stuff. It's not a magazine. It's not a book. It ain't a journal, okay? It ain't a spatula. It ain't a pan. It's a doggone pew-pew, all right? Put those things away. Lock them away. But I also do think that it's very important, if you do have that, to educate your children on that particular thing. That's what I think, okay? Let them know how bad it is. Let them know how dangerous it can be, okay? But then keep it out of sight, out of mind, all right? Until they are old enough to fully grasp the difference between life and demise, the difference between right and wrong, and all those things, okay? We got to be smart about these things. I get it. You want to protect your home. You want to protect yourself. I get all that stuff. But kids are looking at these things like they're toys because they're playing Grand Theft Autos and Call of Duties and all that stuff, okay? And they think, oh, yeah, everything's a video game. No, it's not. And no, I'm not somebody who's trying to blame the video games and Marilyn Manson and Eminem or something like that. Nah, I'm not even trying to do that. All I'm trying to say is that it's very important that you have these conversations with your kids and then make sure you don't gift them a doggone AR for the Christmas. I'm just saying. Okay? It just is common freaking sense, guys. Common sense. Use it. My Lord. All right? We are not Rambo. Okay? Everyday life is not an action flick. It's not. Use common sense. S-Dubs, thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so very much. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so very much. Okay. And every single one of y'all who just became a member, all I ask is for you to send, pay it forward. Okay. Open a door for somebody, buy somebody a cup of coffee, call somebody and tell them that you love them. You know what I mean? Be mindful of the person around you for the day. Hug your spouse a little bit tighter today, whatever it may be. Just pay it forward with positivity. But let's play a little bit more. And then, of course, unfortunately, guys, I'm going to have to wrap this up.
By the way, the kid was bullied in school, according to a lot of reports, and the father was aware of the bullying.
Yeah,
and I'd add a third thing.
Yeah, look, I want to play, when you
Yeah.
say that, though, Paul, I want to play a little bit more of the tape because it's interesting. And they mention some of the points you're making about bullying. And also, even the dad talks about how he had discussed school shootings with the son. Listen to a little more of this police interview.
I'm telling you right now, we talk about it quite a bit. All the school shootings, things that happen.
Yeah,
Hey, are you getting picked on at school? He is. He's getting picked on at school. And is everything okay? That's why I keep going up there.
Now, can I just pause this for a second and reiterate? Daddy knew he was being ridiculed at school. Daddy knew this. And if Daddy knew this, Mama knew this too. So again, you got him sitting there asking him, is everything okay? Because no matter what, I'm assuming he still loves he still loves his son. But if he's having a hard time at school, he wants to know, right? I think that's fair. But that also shows acknowledgement and knowledge that his kid is going through some hard times. And he still gifted the kid that weapon. Doesn't make sense.
Chris, I'm assuming no surprise here. I mean, so many of these cases, bullying comes into play.
Well, it's not that clear cut. There is bullying in a number of cases, but in some of those cases, the person is on both sides of it. They're not only being bullied, they're also bullying and threatening others. So, we don't know objectively what that actually looked like. We know that he perceived it and that he talked about it with his father, which is also another flag for a father that whose judgment was extremely poor, and that's what he's ultimately going to be held accountable for if indeed he is convicted of these alleged offenses.
Now, here's the thing, real quick. That would mean if it's poor judgment on his father, on Colin, it's poor judgment on Marcy as well, because she allowed this as well. Let's keep it real. She even posted that photo or that video that I showed you guys, basically saying, proud mama. She was very proud of what has happened and what has gone down. Okay. Of the incident, but of this hunting video. She knew that this kid was operating and using heavy artillery. Okay. That weapon, he's like, oh, did it kick hard? What do you think of that 40, whatever, the 450 or 445, whatever the hell it was? You know what I mean? Oh, yeah. Didn't it kick really hard? Like, he's a 13-year-old boy and he's using this type of artillery. Mama knew, Mama knows, and Mama posted that and said that she was cool with it. By her posting that, she's condoning it. She knows about the FBI investigation. And if she knows about the FBI investigation, she knows about the AR being gifted to him for the holidays. So again, the question still remains, guys. All right? The question still remains. Should she be catching charges or no? Now, I'm going to end this poll here, okay? And I see T, what up, man? I'm going to look at that really quick in a second because I think that's a really good idea, and I'm going to read it out loud. But I said, should Colt Gray's mom catch a charge for this tragedy? 46% of you guys said yes, she's just as responsible. But 30% of you guys said, I don't know. By the way, wow, I'm surprised. I'm very, very surprised. Why? Because I feel like it's pretty, I don't know. I feel like it's pretty clean cut, but that's just my personal opinion. Okay. That's just mine. All right. But let me grab this. This is from T. All right. You could also do a panel of educators / school administrators, school staff to get their views on this epidemic of school tragedies. Okay. You're a great moderator and interviewer. Oh, thanks, buddy. Thanks. And happy belated birthday, man. I hope it was amazing. Okay. I hope you had your cake and you ate it too. I know that could mean 15 different things. So just go with it, you dirty minds. Okay. But happy birthday, man. Okay. But that is a great idea. And I'm going to see what I can do because I got to turn that around fast. Right. While the conversation is hot, right? While the subject is hot, I will see what I can do about that for sure. Okay. But guys, that is the show. I appreciate all y'all for being here. It means a lot. Thank you so very much for being here, being a part of the conversation. I know this was a short one, but I told you guys it would be a shorter show. Just wanted to bring up that conversation, have that discussion with you guys. Don't worry. We're still keeping an eye on this case. There's a lot more cases that we will be talking about here in the very near future as well, because there's a lot going on. Shoot, I still need to talk about Sandra Birchmore because that's something that's on my docket as well, or that's on the docket right now as well. But there's a lot of other cases as well that are just brimming right now, and we need to talk about them. But trust me, what T just said is a great idea. We're going to work on that and see if we can make that happen maybe at the top of this coming week. Okay, so hit that like button down below. Don't forget to do that. Hit that reaction button if you're watching elsewhere. That'd be greatly appreciated. Hit that follow button on the TT, Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram. Go show some love. Hit that subscribe button here. Go to my secondary channel, The Pascal Show Clips. Go show some love over there. That'd be amazing. Okay, and of course, if you want to support the channel, go hit that join button down below. That would be amazing. All right. Become a member. Check out patreon.com/The Pascal Show. And real quick, I do want to let you guys know and you also can go to pascalmerch.com. We do have something really great going on right now. We have a sale going on right now as we speak. We got some really great new designs, Halloween stuff, etc. Okay, out here ready to go. We have a sale going on for 25% off, if I'm correct. 25% off of any of our holiday and t-shirts. Okay, any t-shirts and holiday centric t-shirts as well. So it is a lot. There's a big chunk of change cut out so that you guys can get some hoodies, some t-shirts, and all that stuff. 25% off on t-shirts right now as we speak. Go check it out, okay? PascalMerch.com, all right? But anyway, guys, it is time to get going. Much love to you guys. I appreciate you guys for being here. Thank you so much for your energy, and I'll be talking to you guys very, very soon. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. We will talk soon. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.